Okay, I'm talking to David Aldana after Building Bridges Out of Poverty class. How you doing, David?
Good, good.
Tell me your hometown. What's the name of your hometown?
Cucuta,
Cucuta.
Colombia.
And is there a state or is it just...
Is the city. Cucuta is the city. The state is north of Santander, and it's a big city, around 1 million people. So
Colombia.
it's kind of big, yes.
Yeah.
It's on the border with Venezuela, so Venezuela is like 5 minutes away driving. It's better to go to Venezuela than Colombia.
Is it?
Yeah, it's closer. So
Interesting, okay. And what grade level are you in school?
what do you mean?
Freshman,
Oh,
sophomore?
I'm a senior.
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 Okay, cool. And do you participate in sports?
I play tennis.
Play tennis. Okay, very good. All right. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you just feel free to answer however you feel that matches up for you. How would you describe this process that we went through as a class?
Well,
What was it like for you?
Well, it was very good to realize that there is a lot of poverty, and not just like economical. It's
Mhm.
also mental. All the classes of poverty that we described in class. It's very interesting to see how to affect people, how their life are being affected by maybe other people, by the environment around them, not just economically.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Right. So there's lots of different ways to be poor.
Yes.
Poverty and resources.
Yes, it is.
What do you think? At what stage or in what part do you feel like you learned the most during doing these workbook assignments?
I believe for the writing assignment, the first writing assignment,
Mm-hmm.
it was very interesting to see in which to do an analysis of yourself and get to know where you are, like in which social class, how that affect you, how what can you make to change your social class, how you can the way you can improve, everything was
Mm-hmm.
was very very interesting during the class. All this semester was.
Right.
And the circles meeting, yeah, that's
Going to the meetings?
Yeah, that's very
What did you like
awesome.
most about the meetings?
Well, I just went to two.
Yeah.
But I like the one about the new and good is always good to
Mhm.
kind of give you energy, motivation to keep going. And I went to the one that talk about they're like psychologically related to an animal, and I end up being a lion. So, yeah, I'm a leader, strong, aggressive.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
I
fits,
really
huh?
related to it. Was
That was Gina did that with you guys that
yeah,
one night.
she did.
Yeah.
She did.
Okay. Yeah. Gina's great. Going back to what you said earlier, in our country, a lot of times at least the media talks about the poor as if they can't improve themselves, that they're stuck there. And our focus is a little different. We believe that they just need to learn the rules to climb the ladder. There are some people, yes, that will always be poor. There are some people that are lazy that are rich. But there are a lot of people. Most people don't get up in the morning if they thought they had a choice and stay poor. That they just don't think. So that's one thing that reminded me of when you said that is that you can change. That people can make a change, and there's a hand up out of poverty, not just a hand out.
I believe that poverty is just like a mental stage, because that's what happens in Colombia. Because if you see, Colombia is a very rich country in resources and everything, but we're a third world country, just because of we're not able to manage that, and our mind is poor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're poor mentally. The country is poor mentally, but if we had more, we have to build other resources so we can improve our mental.
Yeah.
I believe
Good.
that.
Very good. What was the most challenging for you in addressing your issues or the issues of class?
Oh, a lot of work.
a lot of work.
A lot of work, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes I didn't have time for the circles. Let's say I have to work.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go work. I get a job and then go to the circles. Sometimes I had to ask for permissions or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to go to the
Right.
circles, but they're worth it. I think they're worth it. They're worth
Mhm.
the experience.
What kind of work did you do while you're here?
I work in the cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On campus.
Yes. I'm not allowed to work outside yet.
That's what I wondered about it. That I worked with some guys from Serbia, and they
Uh-huh.
actually a couple of them worked their way around and now are coaching
Oh yes.
The soccer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
soccer team. Yeah.
you know, Vladen and Steven.
Steven.
Yeah, Steven was one of my students.
Really?
Yeah,
He
was
was
a psychology major.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
Poor guy. How can you relate this process that we went through to real life situations, and how would you do that?
Well, everything relates from class to real life. Like this class, everything relates to real life. Like the mental, the models of mental poverty, everything.
Models of poverty and middle class, wealth.
Yeah, so everything relates because you see people need to build resources as we see in our journal, our, what is it? The last thing we're doing?
Oh, the future plan.
The future plan.
Personal plan.
We have to build resources, and that's very helpful
Mm-hmm.
to see what your weakness is and what you have to build, what you need to improve,
Mm-hmm.
the areas you need to improve in. That's
Right. How would you relate it to Colombia?
As I said before, the country is poor mentally.
Mm-hmm.
We have resources, we have a lot of potential, but we have to improve some other aspects, some other areas that we have to get better in, especially
Right.
mental.
Be interesting to do a study down there just of what it is, what the resources, break the resources down and say, with a group of people and say, which ones do you think you need that you don't understand?
I think we need motivation.
Uh-huh.
And we need to get the motivation out of the presidents, the high mandatory, so we need to grab motivation from them. But they don't motivate the people, so that's we don't have the motivation to go out the street and say, yeah, I wanna work and I wanna do the things right. Some
Mhm.
people think it's easier to just drug dealing or
Mm-hmm.
just get into business, narcs, or sell drugs.
It's kind of the same thing here, in some of our cities that people are hopeless.
Yes.
They don't see that there's another way, and in a lot of ways they don't have the same opportunities. I think it's an education piece from both ends. We have people. I'm pretty conservative, and I hear some of my conservative friends and people I really like say things that, can you really believe that that's true? That they're just a bunch of lazy, whatever, fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank.
We don't want to say what they say, but
no in video.
but
No in video.
yeah, and the middle class needs to understand where those people are coming from. And I'm one of those people that I'm a middle class, but I got sucked down into the kind of poverty with drug addiction. I messed around with it and it caught me. I was one of those people that just really zapped. And so I kind of understand from that direction, and then from being in circles and in building bridges downtown, I begin to see them as human beings
Yes.
rather than just bums.
We have another way out.
Right.
Basically, yes. You have to work hard.
I've seen people. I believe I don't know if it was a South American country or one of the others that they said that they actually rounded up the mentally ill and sometimes just got rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they just didn't see any hope for them. And we've done that here in this country. It's called eugenics.
Oh yes.
And in Nazi Germany, they did the same
They
thing.
did the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay, if we were to repeat this process, if you wanted to repeat it, what would you do differently if you knew this? You were going to take this class.
Let's work.
Work harder?
No, let's work.
Less work. Okay, that's honest. I like that. Okay. But you liked it otherwise.
Yeah, I like the class. And I'm taking sociology, which is like.
Oh, exactly.
So
this was perfect for
It was
that.
perfect combination because I had to write a paper for sociology and I put examples of the class and I put like quotes of you in the.
Oh, good. Very good.
Paper, so.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get extra points for doing that in a presentation.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And
Quoting
I'm getting
some
extra
other
points here.
expert. Yeah. Tell us something about your personal plan for building resources.
Well, personal plan for building resources.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I want to work hard.
Harder work?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just said you didn't want any. You wanted less work.
No, but I'm gonna work hard for like study more, like do a master's or something. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I wanna do. One of my weakness resources I think was spiritual, so I have to work on my spiritual part because I'm not like very Christian or anything. I'm just follower, but I'm not big follower. So I have to work more on my spiritual resources. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the the only one I have to work very hard on. The other ones were just like leverage.
So tell me some things you're going to do to improve that part, that resource.
Well, getting to group people that actually,
Relationships.
yeah, improve my relationships and go to church, go to like maybe Bible studies.
Maybe small groups.
Yeah, small groups.
Where you have more interaction.
Yeah, more people who actually know the word and
Right.
kind of spread the word.
And smaller groups, if you pick the right groups, you can find people that are more honest. It's always scary in a big group to be honest about the things we struggle with. But if you're in a small group and you get to trust in each other, then you can share those kind of things, and it does change you that way. Because I think God works through other people too. It's not just
just me.
you know, it can be a real interdependence, not dependence.
Someone close to you can.
Because you can help them too.
Yes.
You obviously have a lot of skills and gifts to give. Obviously you do. Really, I mean, I'm serious. I'm very serious. I thoroughly enjoyed having you in the class.
Oh, thank you.
You're funny too. I like that. I like you and you joke. Let's see, funny. What's the most meaningful part of the class for you personally?
Well, I told you everything was meaningful.
Right, but is there anything that just stands out that you really, maybe an aha moment?
Ooh. I don't believe this is from the class, but it's a requirement for the class. So the circles.
Yeah.
So
that's part of the class.
Yeah, circles important. So because you actually get to listen to the other people's stories and what they've been struggle with and how they went over this.
Right.
Their past and how they're working hard and they're doing what they want to do.
Right. Yeah. And nobody's twisting their arm to tell the story. It's coming from their heart.
It's coming from their heart. Like I remember this lady talk about how she got in a wreck or something and she survived and she just gave her life to God and she changed everything. So it was interesting how she did that.
That's why I require people to go to those meetings, because it is a lot more real than sitting in a classroom.
Yeah,
it's just
real.
that connection.
That's when real magic happens.
I don't know if it was the same night, but there was one night they were practicing for the meeting with the representative that came from the state, and they told stories that night. I wish I'd had it on film because it was the most real thing, and it kind of gave you about 16 different examples of how it's not just the people, it's the system as well that's not designed well. And it's not that I think anybody decided, God, I'm going to screw these people over and I'm going to make it so they can't. It's just that they put this piece in there and they put this piece in there and this piece, and all the pieces don't work together.
Yes.
You know, there's no overall plan. So that's one of the things we're trying to change too. And the circles meeting, the Circles Out of Poverty class that's what we look at, is how to change systems rather than, so in sociology, how you look at the big picture.
Oh, yeah,
we're going to look at the big picture. We looked at the small picture with individuals. Now we're going to look at the big picture and how you change that in a city and as well as on a community and a campus. Because this is a city too. Mm-hmm. This is a bubble, they call it. Most students say that with not very much. A safety bubble.
Nah.
Well, not for you, but for people that are really overly religious, they like, their parents want to keep them here. And I understand that for safety, but you need to go to a circle. You need to get out there and do something. It's really a nice town.
Yes.
It's very, very, there's not a lot of risk that most of our kids are going to get in trouble unless they're already in trouble, and they're looking for trouble. But if you go to a circles meeting, it's perfectly safe. In fact, it's probably better because then you have a sense of how life really goes. And that's what I think education should be about, is how are we going to do real life instead of... and it's good to learn the theories, like sociological theory, functional theory. You heard that one? Interactionist theory. Conflict, yep. There's another one. Can't think of the other one. We had 4
feminist.
in our... Feminist is another one. It's usually combined with conflict. There's another one. In our social problems class, we did this. Another sociology class that we were in this semester, but...
Maybe that's more advanced than I know.
No. I think maybe, or I might just be imagining it, there's 4. But I just trying to remember for myself now. That's chapter 1. Here we go. Sociological theories, functionalism, conflict, and symbolic interactionism. There was 3. You got them all. Very good. But it's okay to understand those theories, and it gives us another framework to understand when we're looking. But we also need to be there to see that happen and see what's it really look like.
Yes.
Because in theory, it sounds good, or you might be able to understand it, but understanding that people's lives are consequent. There's consequences for everything.
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thank
This
you.
is an A plus
Of course.
interview.
A